can just go live now. Y'all, I got a new space. Look. And I got a nice little spot. I'm just sitting here waiting for people to go live. See if I get anybody. If not, then it's all good. If not, then it's all good. What up, Liz? What's up? What's up? The bride to be. Here comes the bride. All dressed in. Girl, you do what you want to do. You want to wear white? You wear white, girl. Anyways, what's good, everybody? How you living? How you feeling? How you being? How you becoming? Right? Like that's an active tense. How are you becoming? I think that's a question that I'm gonna start asking a little bit more often. How are you becoming? Right? We are all becoming. We all have a space. Liz, can you hear me okay? I'm trying a microphone. I don't know why I had to do all of that. I'm trying a microphone. Yes. Welcome everybody. Now, while you are here and while people are coming in, I'm just gonna. She said, "I just saw your husband." I call Shahara. Oh yeah, no, he told me about that conversation, girl. He told me about the conversation. I'm supposed to be up there right now. Ian just sent me a text message. Anyways, let me get to this. You know, that normally when I get on here, I'm always like offering you all what not just what I think, but from what I've experienced. You know, like tidbits. You know, sharing insights on how I could help you become a confident and influential speaker. You know, thank you. And you know that's normally what it is. It's like I did the ABCs of communication, connection, and speaking, and I do all these other things. But today I figure I'm gonna do what I normally do with most of my clients, and that is to tell a story. And so I am going to tell a story, and I'm going to take it all the way back 14 years ago. Okay. 14 years ago, I started this thing called the Shahara Show. Right. It makes sense. But I started this thing called the Shahara Show. I had this tagline. It was called, "You create it, I embrace it, and expose it." And it was the dopest thing ever. I mean, back in the day, all I really did was if I had an idea, it came to my mind and I did it, right? I had a great sense of urgency. Let me turn this light down. I'm looking real bright, overexposed, right? And so, anyways, did this show, and in addition to that, that you created, I embrace it and expose it. It was really about bringing in and creating a platform for designers, creators, you know, poets and jewelry designers, painters, entrepreneurs, essentially like people who were like leading in their spaces and in their industries, and bringing them onto the show. It was shot live in a beautiful loft, like South Loop, Chicago. Anybody who know about that? I had live audience members. We filmed live, and the receipts are on the internet, y'all. You can go to, not Instagram. You can go to YouTube and see all of my episodes, right? I even had like intro music. I was like hitting stuff with my hip. I had like sparkles coming out my hands. Anyways, but in that space of supporting these artists, there were so many different things that they were doing, right? They wanted to be seen as credible. They wanted to be seen for their talent. They wanted to be seen as trustworthy, right? But in addition to that, of course, they come on the show because they're looking for the exposure. They're looking to be acknowledged. They're looking to, of course, have influence, because there are some customers, there are some people that they are trying to convince to go their way or the highway, not the highway, but you know, like they were growing and exercising their influence in real time. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, while they were on the show, I'm asking them questions. They talking that talk, thinking they doing that thing. But even while, you know, after talking to them, they're like, I just felt like I wasn't saying things. I wasn't positioning myself. I wasn't expressing myself the way that I thought, like just what I was exuding. It wasn't coming out like that. And so then talking to them afterwards, they're just saying, I didn't nail it like I thought I did. And when I look at myself or when I watch my interview, I don't necessarily feel like I'm representing myself for how good I am, right? If I'm good, then I should sound good, right? And if I sound good, I'm good. But I'm good, but I'm not sounding good. So something's not adding up. So that is where the opportunity started to scream out, Shahara, we need help. And for me, that's where coaching began. That is the working with the Shahara Show and working with those leaders. And I call them leaders too, because they were doing all different things and the industry's changed, right? But working with those leaders is where I got my gusto. So now the first iteration was, the Shahara Show, and it's now evolved into the things that I'm doing here at Speak House. But there was a very unique challenge that I had when I started working with a lot of these clients. And the key thing is like, everybody felt like what they were reaching for or what they were missing or where they felt like they were falling short. The easiest way to articulate it was, there's something wrong with the way that I'm communicating. There's something wrong with the way that I'm public speaking. But encompassed in that, there were so many other buckets to communication, to public speaking. There was authenticity, there was integrity, there was relatability, there was credibility, there was likability, there was personality, there was presence, there was command, there was rapport. There were all of these different things that when you want to exude it, it's like it all comes down to this bucket of communication and public speaking. But it's so much more than that. It's almost like the words that come out of our mouth, you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? The words that come out of our mouth are an audible manifestation of who we are. And if the words that come out of our mouth don't accurately depict who we are or who we're becoming, then we falling short. But are we falling short in just the public speaking? Are we falling short in the presence? Are we falling short in the command? Are we falling short in the building rapport and the credibility and the authority and the authenticity and the likability? Like where, right? And so it was very challenging to really like nail exactly how I should be helping people. But what had happened is through being in these streets, I learned that all of those buckets, all of those things that we most times articulate as communication and public speaking, what we're really doing is we're building this persona. Are y'all with me on this one? Let me take a little bit of sip of my water. Mm. Mm. KKK. It's just water, y'all. It's just water. But this is the thing, and it was all encompassed in that, and it was so important to them that they knew that they needed to be better at that whole thing, all of those buckets, because when you're able to express yourself, when you're able to step into spaces and communicate with authority and do it authentically, a lot more is happening than just sounding good. A lot more is happening than just looking good. You are influencing. And I'm a break it down, right? For those of you who consider yourself to be leaders, for those of you who have taken ownership of a space, for those of you who are moving up in your field, for those of you who are get money, or getting the promotion that gets the money, or getting the clients that get the money, or you're changing or shaping culture, you're changing and shaping your industry, it requires influence. And these series of words that you spin together on a day-to-day basis in these spaces that you're showing up, the sequence of those words, they are called stories. And those stories that you tell, based off of your experience, based off of your expertise, those are the things that are shaping how people are showing up in your industry. And that's what you really want to hone in on. Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get an influence in the chat? All of those things are happening, when you're streaming these words together. And so, I tell y'all that story. I tell you the story because it's sharing with you my experience. It's sharing with you my expertise. it's showing you through words the expert that I am, where it started, where it started. But it's also a very magical way of articulating that I am that girl. Somebody put it in there in the chat. Thank you, Liz. I am that girl. I've been about this. Y'all, I have been doing this work for a very long time. And I have been consistent. And I have grown. And I have produced results for myself and for the people that I work with. As people would say, I ain't new to this. I am true to this. And I am like you. I got experience and I got a hell of an expertise. And how I grow and the impact that I make is dependent on how I'm able to articulate that, depending on how I show up in this space. You and me, we ain't no different. I'm on this live talking about it, but we need this. And there's something that we say, I've said it for many years, but now it's something that we've adopted at Speak House, is of all the things that are getting in your way, of being Black, of being woman, of being young, of being old, of being from a different industry or not, of all the things that are getting in the way of you becoming who you desire, your inability to communicate and express yourself should not be one of those things getting in your way. And God has placed this tool right here. It's sitting right underneath your nose. And your ability to wield that tool, to yield that tool, one of them words, is the difference of you stepping into spaces and saying, yes, I did that. People come to me all the time and say, I just want to feel more confident. And yes, confidence comes. Confidence comes when you own the stories about your experience, about your expertise that you can tell anywhere to anybody, right? And that's just what I did today. That's it. Why? Well, I don't know why I yelled at you at that moment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yelling. Why? Because we all want to exercise our own space of influence in our own field, whether we are climbing that corporate ladder, whether we are moving for that next title, whether or not we're leading a team, whether or not we're going and we're representing our organizations and our companies at conferences, whether we're sitting on panels, whether or not we are advocating for the people who need us to advocate for them and also be successful at it. Like the influence that we need to grow and exercise and execute as leaders is so very important, because it's that very influence that changes the people, that shapes the people, that changes the culture, that shapes the culture around us, that changes and influences and pushes the boundaries on the very industries that we are leveling up. Ooh-wee. So I take it all the way back to the Shahara Show and to where it is now with the work that we're doing at Speak House and the programs that we offer and how we focus on those experts and how we focus on the experience to ensure that you're going from second guessing how you're showing up in the world to then being the confident, influential communicator that you know you're supposed to be, that you know that you are becoming. Ashe, ashe. Can I get an influence in the chat if you are with me? So anyways, I mean, I also share all of that because it is a constant reminder as to how I need to be showing up for you all. And because I have been at this for a very long time, I have accumulated a number of different insights and resources and recommendations and just overall wisdom on how to grow your influence as a leader and how you use this tool, this mouthpiece, to do that. And I am putting it out there. This is a tool that we have evolved from some of my B2B clients that I've been working with. And we have a talent transformation framework that we work off of, but we also have a talent transformation survey. And since so many of the people that we work with are individuals who are looking to like really just transform their industries and be that standout, like build a persona that shares these stories, that changes and shapes your industries, we have now created a leadership influence assessment. So if you want to get down with the get down, click the link in my bio. For those of you who are live, give me 2 minutes because I forgot to update my bio. But if this is 2 minutes later, it's in my bio. Click the link in my bio and take that leadership influence assessment. Please, 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 please do. And if you want to have more conversations about how you are growing and exercising your influence as a leader, then send me a DM. Holla at me. Slide in my DMs. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. I just want to share a little story. I know I'll be coming on here on the internet and I don't be sharing all my personal business. I don't be like, I don't know if I do. I mean, I don't know. But I was like, let me tell you about the Shahara show because, you know, if you come across me in the last maybe couple of years, you probably know absolutely nothing about the Shahara show. But if you with me back in 2010, then you know what's up. And if you weren't with me back then, go check it out. But that's all I got to say. Click the link in my bio. Check out the leadership influence assessment. Spark a conversation with me. I would love to talk to you about how we can grow our influence as leaders so that we can shape and transform our industries. That's all I got, y'all. Peace out.